So I made an Instagram reel that got more attention than I thought it was gonna get, and it was about how I have many eye floaters. I'm guessing about 40 to 50 per eye, but it's hard to say because as you can see here, some floaters are dark, some are more lighter, so it kind of vary what I'm looking at. Right now, I see a few little shadows of floaters going around, but if I look at like the wall behind me, for example, I'll see many more. If it's a white surface, I'll see more or less, you can say all of them. There's actually one that's shaped like kind of like a penis. So it's like the world kind of saying, F you to me. Don't appreciate that one. But let me tell you how this happened because there's a little bit of an interesting story to it, especially if you have floaters or if you have eye strain or headaches or migraine issues, you might find this helpful. So first of all, it does not look like this from you. It's a mix of some of these lighter ones and some of these darker ones. But so this is the back of your eye. And basically what happened to me was I had retinal detachment. My retina detached from both my eyes. And then you have all like the collagen fibers and the proteins in the back. And those break off when that happens. And they get this in this vitreous layer. I basically woke up one morning and I saw this big shadow above. Fortunately, that did go away. I had a medical examination done that day, and the eye doctor confirmed, hey, there's a lot of floaters here, but your retina is actually not detached. And he was a very great doctor. Anyway, so let's get into what happened. So what happened? How did I end up in this floater vision mess? It was actually quite traumatic when this happened, quite depressing. I was meant to be a mess. Like I was like, oh my God, I'm never gonna see a clear sky again because I like hiking. Every time I go outside, they're just everywhere. I'm never gonna get used to this. And even like the eye doctor, he mentioned, oh yeah, you'll get used to this. Like most people get used to them. Your brain kind of learns they're there, but they're not important. That's hard when there's so many of them. But now it's been a year, 2 years later, I guess, 2 years later. And I will say that I'm much more used to it, much more comfortable with it. And you find strategies to make it work, right? But recently I came across a bit of a solution to actually get rid of them, which is what I'm excited to share about. But let's get into why this happens and how it can happen to you or to people. So in my case, I was basically having really bad eye strain for about 8, 9 months. Couldn't figure out what was going on. I remember traveling in Utah and Denver and not even using my phone much or looking at screens. And my eye strain was still there, right? At first I was thinking like, okay, I'm finishing my master's degree. I've been using the computer a lot. That's why I'm getting this eye strain. But that was not the case. And when I get this eye strain at nighttime, I would like close my eyes and kind of like, I guess, move my eyes to the bottom and towards the top, just try to alleviate that strain. When I didn't do that, one day I didn't do that, and instead I decided to just like blink because I'm like, okay, my eyes are just dry, I just blink. I'm not gonna strain them because when I do the strain thing, I'll see like flashing circles at the bottom. It's like flashing light, and they did that for many months. I laid in bed and I kept doing this like, okay, I'm just keep blinking, not strain, blink. Maybe I'm just straining my own eyes here, and that's when I woke up with the retinal detachment. That's also when I started researching things and looking into things quite heavily. And I had an initial hunch that maybe it's my phone. Because one of the things that changed when this eye strain kind of started was that I had broken my S10, Samsung S10, and I got an S24. So I did a quick little search, S24 eye strain, and I actually found someone on a Samsung forum that had a bit of an eye strain issue, and they actually had mentioned that they had floaters from it. And then I found this whole world basically of people that get eye strain and then floaters. And the reason for this was actually using phones, but very specifically, it has to do with something called pulse width modulation, PWM. This is actually quite well known now. You'll see phones like advertise it, but a couple years ago, this was just starting to kind of come in the picture. And the reason it becomes a problem is what I'll show you right now. So on the screen here is actually this website that I came across. Oh, I'm really gonna scroll over the top for you guys. Sorry about the ads. I had ad blocker, but this is basically this modulation rate, and you'll see different devices here, and you'll see, hang on, many of these are 0, but if I go like, oh, even more, you can see it's quite a big thing here, because just look at how many like search results there are. Here, you can see like 250 and 240 and so on. So what happens here, and this is specifically with OLED or AMOLED, the LED technology screens, not the LCD screens. What happens here is I will try to find a photo for you. Give me a second. I'll try to find a photo for you. Okay, here's a pretty good photo of what this modulation rate is. Your phone, when it wants to go lower brightness, not all phones, but pretty much all modern phones, when they want to go into lower brightness, they'll basically, instead of like just dimming your screen and giving less power to it, that's called DC dimming, it'll actually modulate the pixels, you could say. They're kind of like flashing on and off very, very fast, but you don't pick it up. Or consciously, you don't pick it up. Some people say they do, but consciously, you don't really pick it up. I never looked at the screen and thought, hey, something's going off here. These days, people try to keep their screens less bright because they don't want that bright blue light, right? But that actually makes the dimming happen even more. So as the light is changing in the device, your pupils are constricting, dilating. And that's what causes the eye strain. Your eyes are trying to focus on this thing that to your brain consciously looks like just a screen, but it's actually making your pupils go in, out, in, out, in, out over and over again. And there's different refresh rates that this happens at, right? So the device that I had, that is Samsung, oh, I just have it here, Samsung Galaxy S24. That's S24 Ultra. So not this one, 480. I forgot what the number was. Not that super important for the video. But basically, my S10 was a little bit higher and my S24 was not. There's other pieces to this as well. I have to do with like the modulation of the blacks, a couple other things to it. But this is the big sort of factor that caused my eye strain without me even realizing it. And now I'm actually trying out a new device. I went to like an LCD screen device, but that Motorola, it's a cheap phone, it's LCD screen. But now I'm actually trying out, oh, it wants me to enter my password. Here, I'm actually trying out this OnePlus phone right here. And this OnePlus phone is in like a OLED, AMOLED type screen. It does have like apparently the best sort of PWM, one of the best rates, and it has like a nice modulation as the blacks at that lower brightness, like the blacks don't go flicker as much, you could say. But I'm trying it out, and there is definitely something that happens when you had this issue happen to you. Like a lot of people, you'll find forums, you find a whole Reddit for this. People that are basically trying to find LCD screens because their eyes really can't do the LED screens anymore. The way I was thinking about what that was, I was thinking that when the retinal reattaches, maybe it doesn't reattach in the same way, and that just makes your eye function different. Hard to say for sure, hard to say it's a muscular thing, and we just need to no screens for a month or something, completely reset it, right? And a lot of these people that are dealing with this issue are working like desk job, computer jobs, where they're just staring at the screen all day. So is there a way to get rid of them? I thought there wasn't. I thought I was kind of screwed, you know, drew a bad card, kind of stuck like this for life. So I'm trying to find the study. So these days when I do research, I just start with AI. I know people aren't gonna be a fan of that, but it is what it is. This is our future. Might as well take advantage of it. So this is just the initial search I did, and initially I came across a lot of like supplement funded research. Let me see if I could find the table here. Yeah, like here, using all these little compounds, and then you click on it, and then it's like, oh, okay, it's some supplement manufacturer, so there's gonna be some bias here. So I was a little doubtful if there's anything that can be done about this. And then I actually this was the first one I did. I did a lot more looking into this, but 200 grams of fresh pineapple. And one of the reasons it's pineapple is because pineapple has bromelain, which is a protease. It's an enzyme that breaks down proteins. And I had heard about this, which is why I started looking into this in the first place. But I thought, okay, you know what? There's just no way it's gonna make it through the digestion, get in your bloodstream, and then has to like diffuse into your eye. Because it was my understanding, and it's more like the medical understanding that vitreous fluid, there's nothing you can really do about it, right? There's like some very, very risky surgeries out there, but obviously I'm not gonna risk going blind for this. I'll live with it. But this was using pineapples, and it was about 200 grams. I believe this was a Japanese study, and there was actually reduction in floaters. I can find the study for you if you're interested. And then there's some other like capsules and so on. And if you click on these, this is just like an article talking about it. Oh, Taiwan. See, don't quote me on things. Also, you should always check your sources, even though you're watching like a YouTube video and you think the person would do more research. It's not like I didn't do the research. It's just been a couple years since I looked at this again. But here, or a year since I looked at this again. Here, this is the enzyme. You can find it in supplement form. I tried doing it the natural pineapple form, and then I realized that if I eat a lot of pineapple, I'm sensitive to it. So then I wasn't sure if I was sensitive to the bromelain or something else in the pineapple. So right now I'm experimenting with a very low dose of this, just because I have so many floaters, I'll need to take it for a long, long time, right? We're talking years to probably get a very significant reduction. Because when you look at some like the studies, for example, you'll see like one big floater, for example, going away, right? If you have many, many, many of these, it's probably gonna take a lot more time. Let me see what I can see here. Yeah, so yeah, this was what sold me on it, is actually seeing the images. I'm like, oh, okay, I can actually see the images here. Yeah, they might be twisted a little bit, but that Taiwan study was one that I don't believe I saw like a conflict of interest. Like there's no supplement used. It was actually using fresh pineapple. So that's what kind of sold me on this. And the one warning, which I'll show you where I got this from. So the one side effect for the supplementation that you should watch out for is that it can, according to this review, make your heart rate go up. So I looked a little bit further into this. Essentially, there's this very large vasodilation effect. So when you're exercising to get that blood flow going, your heart rate has to be higher in order to pump that fluid. So I think I saw someone else talking about this, that they would exercise like an hour later and their heart rate would be like 180, 190, just doing like resistance training. So the dosing I was trying to get was 500 milligrams. Reason for this was because that's what the studies found as a therapeutic dose. So you can see here the series of Taiwanese studies published between 2019 and 2022. They found when they use this capsule, again, I'm only mainly focusing on this one, that when you're actually taking it, you're getting about 570 milligrams. So 500 milligrams puts you in like a therapeutic dose range. I think you can go much higher. Don't quote me on that, but that is kind of what I'm going for. But I'm starting much lower. I'm starting probably like after you count for food, because when you take the enzyme with food, the food is going to be digested partly. So you're not getting much of that enzyme, if any of it really coming in. So for me, again, I started at a much lower dose because of the sensitivity, which is probably because I think I am allergic to birch pollen. So might be a bit of oral allergy syndrome going on here, some cross-reactivity. But you can find it in powder. Hopefully not an issue for most people, but this was the dose that I found. And I actually found that I found one with quercetin added to it. And that's because this can kind of act like a bit of a stabilizer for the mast cells, part of your immune system function. My current struggle is trying to use this device, get used to the LED, see if I can make it work with a relatively safe device. My struggle is trying to get on the supplementation, trying to remember to take it. And my other struggle is, I guess, seeing people probably dealing with this issue, but not knowing about it because your brain doesn't really consciously pick it up. I told someone about this and they mentioned that, oh, this is really good to know because their doctor, they have patients that have like migraines and headaches and they don't know why they're having those. So if you have eye strain, migraines, headaches, this could be a reason why. Definitely consider looking into it a little bit more. Search your device, see the flicker rate on it, see what happens if you stay away from your device, see how an LCD screen feels against, say, like your phone device, for example. And yeah, there's tips and tricks out there to kind of make this work for you. And if you have eye floaters for other reasons, I think I had a bunch of floaters in one eye already to kind of start because I got punched in my eye as a kid. I had a black eye, so I imagine that causes a bit of retinal detachment in a way, and causes some floaters as well. But naturally, people get a bit of, I think the vitreous fluid just shrinks as you age. And as it shrinks, you're going to basically cause more of those protein fibers, collagen fibers entering your vision, right? So if you're older and you're having this problem, just don't like them being there and you want to get rid of them, well, turns out there is a way. If people are interested in this topic still after this video, maybe I'll take the research report and turn it to a Substack article as well for people to read through it. And that'll be, information-wise, that'll be much more accurate versus me just kind of telling the story. Anyways, hope you found this video helpful. I struggle with this, as you can see, for quite some time. When I had the eye strain, I saw many optometrists, many different clinics, and my vision was fine, but no one really had an answer to the eye strain. So if anything, maybe you'll know someone that has a bit of an eye strain issue going on and you can let them know about this. Thanks for checking out the video. See ya.